Macmillan Audio presents Stay Awake by Megan Golden, read by Imogen Church and January Lavoie.
Hi, good morning. This is my first update clip for bookoplathon. So I have started with one of the bookoplathon books on my TBR. If you have yet to see my TBR, I will link it up above if you want to check it out. Before that, you would have seen from the previous clips that I actually got a book from Popular. It was from Popular, and I haven't bought a book from Popular in a really long time because I just feel like their books I can get them for cheaper elsewhere. So normally I don't buy books from Popular anymore, but I saw this book and basically it was one of my favorite reads so far of 2022, and the cover is super beautiful, which made me want to buy it and keep it on my shelf. Second was that I gave it 5 stars, so even more reason for me to want to put it on my shelves, right? But I was considering whether or not to get it now because I wasn't sure whether I would like the second book, which just came out recently, and if I don't like it, then what do I do with the first book, you know? And the other thing is, if I get this, because it's in hardcover, means that I would have to get the second book if I were to get it in hardcover as well. So I had a lot of considerations. So I actually walked off the first day that I saw it, and after thinking about it, I realized that I still wanted to get it. So that's how I ended up going back the second day and getting that book. So I just got that book only. So it's a very small mini, not even mini, it's just one book. One book haul. So it's basically a magic steeped in poison, and it's wrapped, okay? So one thing that Popular doesn't really do is that they don't, as in I don't see it happening in other bookstores, but most of the time they don't wrap their books. And I get why, because if not, people won't know what the book is about. They can't read it and like try it for themselves, you know. But as a result of that, a lot of the books are in kind of bad condition, especially the books in the first books. This one was wrapped, so I'm very happy because it means the condition is very good. So let's unbox it together. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay, I don't think the naked cover will have anything, but you can see what it is together. There's something. Oh shit. There's like a little... What's this? A fish? Looks like a fish. And the cover just looks like this. So pretty. And the other thing was that I felt like the price that they sold for this book was quite reasonable, so I bought it. And yeah, oh my gosh, I can't wait to reread it. I feel like I want to reread it before reading the second book, which is A Venom Dark and Sweet or something like that. The cover will be here. I guess that will be in a video where I read my anticipated releases of this year. But yeah, stay tuned for that. And I'm just very happy because I'm just now gonna display this on my shelf, and I can't wait to tab it. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how happy I am, okay? Oh my gosh, I really hope this isn't an impulse buy. But at the moment, I feel happy. So I guess that's what matters, right? So yeah, okay. So let me put this back. Okay, for now, it's just gonna sit there. On to the book that I wanted to talk to you about. I started and I'm actually 50% through Stay Awake by Megan Godin, who was the author of The Night Swim. And I'm really enjoying it because I haven't told you the premise of this yet. So let me tell you the premise first. Basically, we find her disoriented as she wakes up, and she wakes up in the back of a taxi. So she has no idea where she is, why she's in a taxi in the first place. But she got off at her address where she lives, and she rings the bell and finds out that a pair of strangers are living in her home, and she doesn't know where her roommate is, things like that. So she's very confused about what's happened, and she finds that she has a blood-stained knife with her. So while she sees that, she's like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And then she sees that her arms are actually filled with scribbled messages on her skin, with messages like don't trust strangers, don't call the police, stay awake, things like that. It's just very, very interesting because you have no idea what's happened to her. She has no idea what's happened to her, so we are just guessing along with her as to what's happening. At the start of the book, she's just very much in denial. I guess it's understandable because it's like whatever you believed to be true is gone, you know? Things are so different. So her last memory was of her answering a phone call in her office, I think, and it was summer. But now that she has woken up at her present time, she sees that it is fall now. So it's like everything is changing. What's happening? It's like she's been teleported into the future and she doesn't remember anything. We're slowly trying to find out things, and I guess from now on it's going to be spoilers because I'm talking about things that are progressing towards the middle of the book. So as I mentioned, I'm at 50%. So yeah, I'll put a spoiler warning, and if you want to skip ahead, you can do so. So basically, we follow another perspective, I guess, where we follow this detective Halliday and Lavelle. They are at a scene of a crime, and they find that the victim's feet has been slashed open, okay, with like blood stains everywhere. It's like very, very gruesome sounding, and the cause of death was actually just a stab to the heart. So the victim kind of just died instantly with little splashing of blood or anything. It's just that after that they were thinking like, why did the victim's feet get like slashed up? And turns out the perpetrator used the victim's blood to write a message on the window, and it's in reverse so that people can read it from the outside, and the message written in blood says wake up, which is also scrawled on Liv, who is the main character's arms. So she kind of is like, oh my god, like did I do this? Am I involved in this crime? Did I actually kill that person? Things like that. So we don't know what's happening, but this is super major spoilers already. So we find out at some point in the story that she suffers from something called memory blackouts. So basically, she gets intermittent blackouts during which time she can't retain memories. Whenever she wakes up, her last memory is of her 2 years ago when she was almost murdered. Okay, I think it's because of the trauma and everything. So whenever she sleeps and wakes up, she just goes back to that time. So yeah, that's the reason why she is actually keeps having no recollection of what has happened because of her trauma. It's dangerous because she doesn't know what is going to happen to her. It means that if the person who tried to murder her 2 years ago knows about this, they can actually get near her and try to harm her again, which is why things are kind of dangerous for her. So the police are looking for her, both as a suspect for that victim case with the blood message on the window. The British detective Interpol people are also looking for her because they couldn't find her after she went off the charts, off the rails, off grid, because they couldn't find her. She wasn't using her cards and things like that. That's where I'm at in the story now. I'm very, very intrigued to find out what is happening, who is actually out to murder her, and I'm very confused where her friend is, her roommate. I kind of have a guess on who is the perpetrator, but I feel like I'm going to be wrong, so I'll keep you updated. Just know that I'm very much enjoying this thriller at the moment. Like finally, yes, I'm enjoying this thriller. Yes, that's all for my updates for now, and I'll see you in my next clip. Hi, it is actually just the next day and I finished Stay Awake. And basically, I was rushing it because my loan was due in an hour and I was just panicking and trying to finish it. And actually, it was quite intriguing, so I kept wanting to pick it up also. So it's kind of a good thing in a sense. And it was quite funny because after the loan lapsed and it returned to the library, I immediately placed a hold and it was available soon. So a few hours later, I actually got the loan already. But okay, I finished it within the day. So let me talk about trigger warnings first. Trigger warnings for murder, stalking, violence, death, blood, gaslighting, injury, detail, gore, mental illness, drug use, gun violence, infidelity, medical content, toxic relationship, kidnapping, suicide, actually quite a few trigger warnings. So in the end, I gave it 4.25 stars because of how it kept me on the edge of my seat and I kept wanting to return to the book and continue reading and find out what actually is happening. I was wondering about the logic of the condition of the main character, but I think it actually can happen. I was doing some searches on the internet and I guess it can happen unless I searched wrongly. So I kind of believed it, but I also had to suspend my disbelief a bit because I haven't seen such cases happening before. But very intriguing read. I would have to say that the ending, when we find out who did it, I was kind of not so impressed by that because I was expecting this character, but the person who actually did it came out of nowhere in my opinion. But apart from that, I really enjoyed every other aspect of this book, and so I don't think I should deduct a lot of points from the book just because I didn't like the twist. So yeah, that's as far as I can say for non-spoilers, and I'll now continue with the spoilers. So basically, I was very shocked to find out that the main character is Liv, right? Liv's boyfriend Marco and her best friend Amy were cheating behind her back, and I was just like, I thought Amy was one of the good ones, but apparently not. But did she deserve to be killed? Did she and Marco deserve to be killed? No, but I guess for the progress of the plot. I just couldn't believe it when the person who was actually doing it turned out to be Brett, because we had Kevin, who was the waiter, who kind of kept calling her, and then we also have Q, who tried to scare her because of her reviews of his exhibition, kind of brought his career down. And then we have Brett, who was Amy's boyfriend, who came out of nowhere, honestly. He was paying this guy to go into the house, so Amy got scared because she thought she was being stalked. There was people entering her apartment, but she didn't have evidence to prove it, so people are kind of like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? I guess if that's his big plan to kind of make Liv look like the insane one, and then when she found out that they were cheating, then she killed both of them and killed herself. I guess it could have worked, but I really thought it felt a bit like out of nowhere. But apart from that, I think it was really good. I guess I got my question answered on where Amy went. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. The part about how she might be experiencing this memory blackout thing because of her trauma of almost being murdered 2 years ago, and then the moment the person who did it, who was Brett, got caught and she was sent to the police, the next day she woke up, she could still remember everything. I don't really know how much to believe in that because it's saying how like her trauma was immediately healed from this not being tied or something. I don't know, man. But yeah, I really did still enjoy the story apart from the last few twists. So far, Megan Goldin's books I have really quite enjoyed, so I'm very much looking forward to what she is going to put out next, and I'll definitely be reading it. So that's the first bookoplathon book down. I realized that I haven't tracked it, so I should do that now, and I'll keep you updated on the next bookoplathon book I pick up. Hi, I'm finally updating this vlog. So I actually started the next book for bookoplathon already, Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter, and I am currently at page 302 out of 468. So almost there, like 3/4 of the way there, I think, 2/3 of the way there. I'm not really enjoying this a lot. I feel like it's going to be below 3 stars. It's about how one day the main character Andrea and her mother Laura are at the mall when suddenly this guy comes in and shoots everybody. Laura, who is the mom, saves the day by stopping him and also killing him in a sense. So people are arguing over whether she did it on purpose, like whether that was murder or whether she was doing it in self-defense to protect her daughter Andrea, who is 31 years old. Doesn't really feel like she's 31, but yeah, anyway. We are kind of like alternating chapters after a certain point. Might progress into spoilers, but basically what happens after that is like more things happen, but eventually Andy or Andrea is trying to find out more about her mother and things like that, and she's kind of on the run also. And the alternating chapters is that we are taken to this historical point in time a few years earlier, like maybe 10 or 20 years ago or 30, about this group of characters and what's happening there. I don't really care about that part actually. It's not really grabbing me, so I am kind of like very much disinterested in that portion. I'm more interested in the current time point of Andy. But even then, it's not a lot of interest also. But I'm trying to persevere through this because I want to read Girl Forgotten, which is the second book in this series. So I'm honestly just trying to get through this book, and yeah, it's not really doing much for me. So I guess I'll just update again when I'm done, and I'll give you my ratings and things like that. It's not going to be very positive, I think, unless there are twists at the end that surprise me. It is the next day, and I am here to give you my final thoughts and review for Pieces of Her. Let's start with trigger warnings. Trigger warnings for gun violence, murder, violence, domestic abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, toxic relationship, addiction, homophobia, blood, gore, shootings, death of a parent, cancer, drug abuse, kidnapping, pregnancy, gaslighting, child abuse, miscarriage, terminal illness, sexual assault, torture, suicide attempt, confinement, abortion. Again, many trigger warnings for this one, and in the end I gave it 1.25 stars. Oh gosh, so nothing much changed from the last time I updated. I really didn't care about this. It didn't really feel like a thriller, it felt more like a mystery, and we tried to find out who exactly is Laura, what's her past, what is all this stuff about her that doesn't add up to what Andrea, who is the daughter, knows about her. Towards the end, I kind of didn't really care anymore. So in the end, I kind of was basically skimming a lot, and I didn't feel like I missed a lot also. But this does not bode well for the sequel of this book, which is Girl Forgotten. So hopefully the story is kind of separate enough that they won't seem like a direct sequel, because from what I know of this, it's that it's following Andrea in a different setting. So I guess the main focus shouldn't be on Laura anymore, and I hope that this feels more like a thriller instead. This will not be in this vlog because I'm planning to stop after 3 books for this bookoplathon vlog. Okay, technically this is my 3rd book because I finished Final Girl Support Group, but because that will not be in this video, I will be reading another book for this video, so there can be 3 books. Final Girl Support Group, as I mentioned, is for a secret video that may or may not be going up this month. I don't think it will, but just know that I finished reading it in the month of September. Stay tuned for my thoughts on that. The next book that I'll be reading for this vlog instead is This Time Tomorrow. I don't really want to go straight into Girl Forgotten because I think I need some time to read different books before I totally fall into a reading slump. I will be starting This Time Tomorrow because this book along with Pieces of Her is due in a few days, and hopefully I can finish this book before I have to return it to the library. So I have just started only. I'm right at the beginning, page 11 out of 307, so this should be a relatively much shorter read and hopefully I'll enjoy it. I can't really say much for now because I'm really right at the beginning, nothing much to say. So I'll update you more in my thoughts for this one when I continue reading it. Hi, so I hope I already finished updating Pieces of Her, and I think I mentioned that the next book that I'll be reading is This Time Tomorrow. So I'm actually almost done. I'm at page 227 out of page 307. But I'm a bit sad to say that I'm not really enjoying this as much as I thought I would, because I don't know, I'm just kind of bored by this story. I'm not sure if it's because she goes back in time to when she was 16, right? So it's kind of like historical fiction-ish, but also the story isn't really grabbing me. Like, there are points where I was kind of intrigued about what happens when she went back to when she was 16, how did she end up going back, what happens after she wakes up, that kind of thing. But apart from that, I'm just very much waiting to be done with this book. Like, oh, okay, I don't think it will be as bad as my rating for Pieces of Her, because Pieces of Her was just terrible, but this one is not. So I will update you on my rating once I'm done with the whole book, but I don't think it will get more than a 3.5 at the most. Oh, actually I don't think I even told you what this book was about except from my TBR video. Basically, this is about Alice on the eve of her 40th birthday. She's just thinking about a lot of things, about how she and like her dad got to this point, like what happened between them, and whether she took too much for granted. But then one day she wakes up back in 1996, so she is 16 in that, and then she sees the people from when she was 16 all over again. Her dad is younger, everybody else is younger, and then she's just looking at herself like, oh, like how did I have so much insecurity when I was actually not bad looking, that kind of thing. Yeah, in retrospect, it's about how she trying to get back to her present day, but also reflecting on what she can do while she is still 16 again, things like that. So there's 3 parts so far. I'm at the 3rd part, not sure if there's a 4th part. Again, it's very much an okay read for me. I have seen people comparing this to Midnight Library, and I guess I can see the points of comparison, but I wouldn't say that if you liked Midnight Library pick this up, because I really enjoy the Midnight Library much more. I can't really say why. Also, it might be the writing style, might be the points of time traveling are different. I just preferred that book as a whole more. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on my thoughts once I finish this, hopefully soon, because this and Pieces of Her are due at the library in 2 days.
여기. 도복소 강력이 튼 남건욱 형사입니다. 34살이고요. 제가 맡고 있습니다.
It's kind of golden hour now. Anyway, in just a few hours later, I have finished This Time Tomorrow. Okay, so as always, let's start with trigger warnings first. This might be spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything about the trigger warnings, you can skip ahead. Trigger warnings for theft of a parent, grief, and drug use. Overall, I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. So towards the end, I was actually getting super bored and I started skimming a lot. I didn't really feel much. I was very bored. I think this just might not be the kind of book that is for me because I tend to not like books that are slow paced, and maybe because it's sci-fi also, but I enjoyed Midnight Library, which had the concept of like time traveling or like alternate universes, that kind of vibe. Maybe if I'm at an older age, I might appreciate this book more, but yeah, I just thought it was a meh read, like it was fine. It was just okay. So that actually brings me to the end of this first part of my bookoplathon vlog. So to wrap things up, in this vlog, I have read Stay Awake, Pieces of Her, and This Time Tomorrow. As of the timing of this vlog, I've already finished Final Girl Support Group as well, which means 4 books out of my 9 books TBR. I'm almost halfway there. So yeah, stay tuned for the second half of this vlog bookoplathon series, and hopefully the remaining 5 reads will be much better in comparison, because as of this moment, I think Stay Awake is still my favorite book so far for this reading vlog for bookoplathon. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. Remember to hydrate yourself if you have yet to do so. I'll see you in my next video. Why is this me like all the time? Oh my god. What a mood, oh my gosh. And then this one. Oh god, I didn't even realize, but yeah, this is me also.
How's the muffin? Really good. Agnes? 4 days.